Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Soul Grace Podcast. Go ahead, stop what you're doing, gain all your focus, or bring all of your focus to my voice. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little high energy, but you know what? It's well deserving for this episode. For this week's episode, I wanted to just bring something light and super refreshing and just like cool, calm, collected. I don't want to give you too much homework. I don't want to deep dive into any deep wellness stuff at all, really. Yeah. And there's no need to talk about what's going on in the real world because we already know what's going on out there. I'm sorry if you're looking for those type of conversations, baby. This is not the show for you, quite honestly. I'm all about being in a different reality than where I'm at right now. That doesn't mean like through substances, but the outside world is not a reflection of my reality right now. And I know for a lot of us, somebody might hear that and be like, why would you say that? It is reflecting It is, but we could sit here all day and debunk some of the headlines. But again, that's not what my show is for. And baby, you got to do some of that research for yourself. And please just don't forget that right now, everything is about going viral. Sadly, even our government right now. So, yeah. Gather on in for the good feels. Go ahead, grab a glass and join the conversation. I realized when I was doing some of the editing to some of my past few episodes, I had a ginger shot and that just tastes like ginger. I noticed that in my last few episodes, I haven't been introducing myself. I am Danielle Marie. Danielle M, and welcome to my show, to my baby, the place where we truly come together and talk about true self-discovery and wellness and well-being without all the trendy bullcrap. Welcome, gather on in. Welcome to the community. Welcome to the gang. Welcome to the family, darling. So this week we don't necessarily have a gotta have it, but I know we're gonna pull a self-love deck card. Maybe we'll pull it before I hop into recapping what's going on with my life, because I do realize sometimes maybe y'all don't hear it or see it because by that time it is edited. They really tie into, sometimes the questions tie into like the intro and my own personal recap of the past week. Self-love deck. Ooh. If you're new here, focus camera. Self-love deck. Leave connected, come curious. Leave connected, come curious. I think we're on number 3. Number 3, my lord. Number 3. I think we are on number 3 this week, so we'll just go with that. The decks are organized from past, present, and future. So I'm just going to pull one from here. Here we are. You know, this is not a beauty and hair podcast at all. Y'all know my hair is. I have a natural pixie, and I love it, love it, love it. But while on a mission to avoid any hair, like I haven't done braids. Usually that's my go-to. I would change in the past. I would change my hair up so often, and me having my hair cut really, really short has been the best thing for me. But today I did not feel like getting my wash and go on, so I'm getting my Tia and Tamara on. Tia Tamara, that's what I'm gonna call her. Tia and Tamara. She's cute, but it's really, it's all about the girl under the wig. It's all about that. Anyways, level 3. Oh my God. Where is my hospitality? How are y'all doing? How are you doing? How's your week been? How's your day been? How's your weekend going? Yeah. Same. Quite literally the same. But overall, I'm doing good. I'm alive. I'm well. I'm breathing. Life around me is breathing. And yeah, we're doing good. Today for level 3, our future. The question is, what's one thing about yourself you don't want to forget? What's one thing about myself that I do not want to forget? I want to say how free I am. I wonder what would have to happen for me to forget that. Like, if I don't want to speak it, there's power in the tongue. But I never want to forget how free or how much freedom I actually have. How much free will. You have all the free will to do whatever it is that you want to do, and then for the things that you want to pursue, you definitely have all the will. And of course you do have to break out of certain mindsets and stuff, but that's not what we're talking about. Again, the conversation can go much deeper than this. I just don't want to forget how I appreciate the free will to be able to do whatever I put my mind to, or being spontaneous. I would just say free will. I do not want to forget the free will to be able to do stuff, because some of us, of course, I think it's just becoming a product of your environment and just all of the things. And sometimes when you are locked in a mix of a lot of chaos and, to say, like uproar, or I'm gonna just stick with chaos. When you grow up around a lot of chaos, right? Then you become an adult, and then so on. Or you say, if you stay in your neighborhood and you never leave your city or something like that, it's easy to become a reflection of what's going on around you. And so when I look at that and think about when I say free will, I have the free will to avoid to do everything in those things of what is normal to me and my surroundings. Or, I do have free will to do everything but that shit. If that makes any sense. I don't want to forget my free will. I do not. Just like 2 weekends ago at this point, I woke up with a road trip on my mind. Guess what? Got up, took the road trip. What is amazing about living in the United States of America is it's such a big country. The land is spread so far and open, and there is something to do around every corner. But I live in a lovely state of Colorado, and there are so many day trips and things like that. I went out to Boulder. We're past this time, so I could talk about it a little bit, but I went out to Boulder, the mountains and stuff that are out there, and we did like a little hike, a little trail, sat by the river, and it was just really nice. And then drove back, and it's just like the free will. That didn't take no time. It was maybe like a 45 to an hour long drive, not all together, but one way and back. So 3 hours. Maybe I was going 4 hours, but if you include driving and just hanging out, 3 hours. But that is a way to exercise, or a way that I have been exercising my free will. Granted, I have a very different schedule than a lot of people, but I try to prioritize those things for myself, because I have recognized a long time ago that doing whatever I want to do makes me feel so good. Not in the sense of like I'm just doing things because I'm grown and I'm an adult and I'm mature. No, being able to think about something, and the things are not always luxurious or they cost a lot of money, but just being able to wake up and say, do this. Let me see if I can, my ring. Let me see if I can actually do this, fit it in the schedule. Is it an option? And I love to exercise my freedom. My freedom that way. And it was just nice. I need to put together the dang TikTok and reel. God, I just wiped all of Soul plus Grace's Instagram. So if you see that somewhere, it's currently being revamped. Darling. The reels are still there, but the page itself, all the posts I took off. Maybe one episode, if anyone is interested, or like maybe future listeners will find it insightful, I can talk a little bit more about business, or maybe that's something I'll just put on the Patreon, because maybe everybody is not interested in it. Quite honestly, that is another reason why Soul and Grace was born, because of the fact I went from being in a participating in hustle culture, and also just everything was about money. Now, not that everything is still not about money. I like my money on. But it's just not something that I prioritize as much as I used to. I let it flow how it's supposed to be, and I have my sources of income and things like of that sort, but it's not up here in my life anymore like it used to be. Actually, free will became that. I really could talk about like just that whole transfer of, or change of mindset from serial entrepreneur to just creating in that lane. Siri just be listening, but creating in that. What the fuck? Strange. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into the show. There's no gotta have it, like I said earlier. The past 2 weeks have been full of adventure, clarity, and so many soulful reminders. You guys know that I'm doing the artist's way, and that I'm not gonna say that's why. I will say, as far as those damn morning pages, those actually work. They actually work. It feels like homework a little bit sometimes. It's brought a lot of clarity. Let's go ahead and hop into Soul Search. Did you know that there's a little person inside of you? This is taking me back to Soul versus Ego, season 1. It might be the first or second episode, but that little person that is inside of you, don't forget to honor him or her, whoever's listening. Don't forget to honor that part of yourself. It is very easy to worry ourselves while we are pursuing having this deeper understanding of ourselves. What I find is that things are much more easier than, or at least our minds trick us into believing that they are. Including these personal these personal growth challenges and personal discovery and self-improvement and all of these things. At least for myself, it is being proven to me every single day. I have overthought some things way past them, like where they actually needed to hold the space in my mind and also in my life. Which brings me to today's topic of Soul Search. Today in Soul Search, we're going to talk about the beauty of clarity. Clarity is not necessarily about where you're headed. It's more about feeling aligned with where you are right now. As an adult, I've more so embraced this, but when I think back to like being in school and all of the things, my mind has always been elsewhere. I'm always thinking away from whatever everybody else want to do. So lately, I've been rocking with the unknown and letting life do whatever it's gonna do, because the one thing about life is it's gonna play out how it's gonna play out. There are some factors and things that I can control, but majority of it I cannot control, and we stress ourselves about that shit entirely too much. And with being able to, or at least being able to constantly remind myself to just go with the unknown, there has been so much peace. Because the reality of it is like being able to let go of what you cannot control and surrendering to the fact that I have no control over anything, myself and my decisions and my actions, but mostly nothing else outside of myself. Having all of these reminders that I'm actually not blocked has been so interesting, because one proves, or at least to me, it proves to me that my intuition is way more powerful than my mind. I don't know. Sometimes I just have these things, and this is my experience. My intuition, my gut feeling, and my brain, they're supposed to be the one and the two, but my brain is gonna talk me out of things. The whole time you're thinking you're blocked and you're really not. Sometimes that clarity comes in stillness and so many other ways that we just don't even recognize these things to happen. Other times it comes in movement. When things don't work out in our favor, that's a form of movement. Even though we don't be wanting to see it that way, because we just be wanting things to go how we want them. Guilty. We all are guilty of that. And saying yes to new experiences and stepping outside of my routine and allowing my creativity and my heart, and more so really letting my curiosity lead, has been amazing. Not that it hasn't, no, it didn't necessarily lead me in the past at all. I think I would be lying if I said that, because I'm a very careful person. If it don't sound right, I don't want to find out. I don't need to F around and find out. I'm not interested in effing around and finding out, actually. I am not. Where in your life right now do you feel like clarity is nudging you? Because I promise you, it's nudging you somewhere. Mine has been, I think, just nudging me out of environments and people's lives and things like that. There's always the Like, there is always the desire to keep moving forward. I think my clarity is just nudging me to really just leave people, places, and things where the hell they are at. Because when you look at it in the whole aspect, it just don't serve me. It just doesn't serve me. And it's really just interesting because what do you mean? What do you mean I need to go a different direction? Where in your life do you feel like clarity is nudging you? Maybe it's whispering for you to slow down, or maybe it's calling for you to take a leap. Either way, trust your intuition and trust yourself, unless it's telling you or trying to convince you that nothing is wrong. I do think if we can do a self-evaluation and just think like, I'm good. No, you're not. I don't be wanting to sound like a self-help person, but yeah, only thing constant in life is change. Something you need to be evolving slowly, over time, evolving into something else, or always bettering yourself in different ways. That's not going to be a degree. That's not going to be by a new job or something like that. But how do you cater and love yourself, how do you cater and love yourself into being a newer, better version of yourself over time, over and over again? How do you keep doing that? What is the clarity telling you to do? Mine is just telling me, leave them back. Leave them back there. Please. These last 2 weeks, I've said yes to a lot of things that pushed me outside of my comfort zone, that reminded me life is meant to be lived. Whether it was a road trip or a deep connection with a stranger, in the last 2 years, I have had so many interactions with elderly people and just regular people in passing, cashiers, store associates, whatever. And they always say, like, I'll just simply have a question, then it just turns into this little 5-minute conversation. We are not trying to sell anything to each other. We're not trying to get the details or nothing. Easy, organic. What I would say is just me being me. Other people have been saying or would express it as me being joyful. Everyone always tells me that they thank you for smiling. Oh, your smile just brought so much joy to me. Or today, I had an older lady tell me, like, I haven't had anyone talk to me in so long, and that broke my heart. That really broke my heart. I'm not the type to hug people. Now, I will hug like my clients and things, my friends, family. I will hug y'all, but random people, no. But I wanted to hug this lady, and it really just touched my heart. And it was just the reminder, or not the reminder, but the question immediately came to me. And I say it in a different way, but I do not understand why God put us here on this earth with billions of other people, and we are so afraid to talk to one another in person and have real interactions and relationships with people in person. I know some of us are introverts. All of these labels that we try to disguise having human connections, just human ass connections with people, is silly. But yeah, I have had the constant reminder the last few weeks and really the last few months. Life is meant to be lived. It's meant to be lived. Even just waking up and choosing joy over stress. When you choose to just declare this is going to be a good day, nothing's going to distract me from that. Each experience that I've had with whatever I did left me with a lesson. Adventure doesn't have to mean traveling the world. We have trains, we have planes, we have cars, we have feet, we have buses, we got buses that drive the land, and all of the things. Make some time for adventure. Make some time for adventure. And if you're listening to this and you're a mom, you're like, oh, I don't have time. I'm a firm believer in taking that baby where you go. Also, of course, take them where they are accepted. But obviously, if you are a mama and you are thinking what to do, hopefully you're already being mindful of those things. But take the babies with you. My kid, the reason why people always compliment his behavior, but the reason they compliment his behavior is simply because I take him with me. Or I'm open to taking him with me to some places. A lot of places. He's been traveling, all of the things. I do understand some children do not. There's so many cases where that might just not be an option for them. If things are fine, behavior wise, you and your family, whoever can handle it, or you have the help or whatnot, take the baby with you. Don't be afraid to take these babies out and show them how to live life. They don't know that. They only been here a little bit. They just got here. Shit, my son, I tell him all the time, you haven't even been here 3,000 days yet. You haven't. You have not. So yeah, don't be afraid to expose yourself and the baby to things. Adventure doesn't have to mean traveling the world. It can be something that is a spontaneous, random act or random activity that allows you to make time for yourself and honor yourself. In the case if you have to take your kids in a way, you still are nurturing yourself, but also remember you are nurturing those babies because you are exposing them to something new, different. Also, exposure is so important because a lot of the things that I do, or all of the things that make me a great mother, my mom did for me. So it is very unnatural and just, yeah, it would be completely unnatural for me not to do certain things because it wasn't normal for me and it was irregular. It would be things that I grew up doing. Right now, more than anything in this world, I am begging anyone in the future that listens to this, find your peace in this world. Find whatever it is that makes you happy. Figure it out, and get closer to yourself, because the headlines and the news and Donald Trump and what is the vice president name? Mr. Vance, him, Joe Biden, Kamala, sorry, student Kamala. Everybody else is living their own lives, and the thing with the media right now is it is meant to keep us in fear. Or if you don't want to look at it as fear mongering, it is meant to keep you on edge. It is meant to keep you impulsively doing everything that is not good for you and me. So find your peace, find some things that make you happy, or just start trying a little bit of everything, like me. If you need a list, maybe I should create a list and put it on my little thing. Yeah. I should. Of just ideas of what you can do. You can Google it and find ideas of what you can do, but you have to bring the light into your life as well. There are so many things that we could do to do that. The thing about responding impulsively to things, like, I mean, it will keep you doing the things that you're trying to work yourself up out of right now. It will keep you in the comfort of chaos. In the comfort of chaos. We don't recognize this is a learned behavior, and we never realize we learned that we were taught. We never realized we were taught to obsess over these headlines because it was. I do not want to disregard true journalism. I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about all the rage bait and fear mongering that Americans, most of us, live off of. But you could be like me and just unplug. I unplugged back in 2020. That's part of the reason why I am just completely inconsistent with social media itself, because it's not up here for me anymore, and hasn't been for a very long time. So I am truly learning and rebuilding my relationship with social media because of all of these things. It's so easy to open the app and get distracted from what either you were going to post, or being into the content that you actually, or that actually speaks to you. It's so easy. You open the app up, you going to either post or just share something, content, go look and support other people's content, and now you're depressed in 30 seconds because you just scroll past 7 videos about the same depressing ass, recycled ass topic. Baby, let it go. Unplug from the media, the news outlets, and everything else. Shit, some of the entertainment ones too, because the Shade Room, Hollywood Unlocked. What's the other ones? All of these things, Neighborhood Talk, all of these things. These people could be promoting and talking about so many other things with millions and hundreds of thousands of supporters. But instead, we need to know about Jonathan Majors and Megan Good. Congratulations on y'all new partners. Congratulations to those people. The entertainment ones, it's all a distraction. It's all a distraction. And the biggest distraction from who you are and getting to where you want to be. Delete the news app. Block them. I'm holding an imaginary mic with a mic. Block them. Block them. What's crazy is most of the news reporters, they're now on YouTube making their own channels and all of the things. Pay attention. I tuned into one of Don Lemon's things one day, his live streams, and he had hit a certain amount of followers, and I guess the people at CNN were telling him that he would never make it, or maybe he just felt he could not make it without the corporations behind his back, and now he has a successful everything and people are supporting him. So good for him. When was the last time you did something for the last time, or just for the sake and for the hell of it? When? If you cannot remember right now, this is your time to, matter of fact, go pause and go do something. Anyways, because I started rambling, my soulful reminder for you is, don't forget to live. Do not forget to live for you. Not even just today, for today and the rest of the days. Do not forget. Because even for my single people, it's like, don't forget to live for yourself. For my people that are partnered, don't forget to live for yourself. For my people that have complete families, do not forget to live for yourself. Everybody else is going to do it around you while you pour it into them and everything else that you pour into. Do not forget to live for yourself. Do not. Please and thank you. Let's go ahead and get into Queen and close out the show today. Before we close out the show, I want to leave you with this. Joy is an act of resistance. In a world that is literally and quite honestly chaotic as hell, choosing to seek peace, beauty, adventure, and just hold space for things that you love and things that make you feel good, make you laugh, really just overall make you feel good. It's powerful, it's necessary, and it's just so damn necessary. It is so necessary to make and hold that space for your damn self. Nobody's gonna prioritize it for you. Let's not wait for the better days to start living. Let's not say, oh, I'm gonna wait till after these 4 years, because yes, Black women and all my people that look like me, we are supposed to be resting, and we're doing exactly that. But resting does not mean neglect ourselves, our activities, our life, and just neglect the outside life and shy away from things because we are nervous or worried. Granted, some of those things like racism is something really to be afraid of, and even hearing the segregation laws and things, like people want to bring that shit back. It's scary, but then again, it's like, when you think about it, the segregation never went anywhere. We just don't got the damn signs. We've evolved in so many ways, but really so many things are still the same way. So it's still there. Like, it has always been there. So it's not something that's super alarming. While we're not completely slaves again, I don't know. My great grandma said that's not what Avon came from. Which is a great thing to be able to hear one of your ancestors say, so that you are not, just putting that on your ancestors. But yeah. Anyways, like, we can't wait until Jesus comes. I love you, Jesus, I do, but your granny, your great granny, somebody that, yeah, my great grandmother had I come from women that have had these same thoughts, which I am so proud to even, I don't know if proud is the word, but at least I feel that's why it confidently comes out of my mouth, or my opinions on these things. Anyways, don't wait to the last days. I know everybody keeps saying we're in the last days, blah 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 blah. Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself and speak for your own life and your reality. But you shouldn't look at life in that way. Life is what you make it. Even if you don't have the money, all the unnecessary tangible things, the whatever, life is still and will be whatever you make it. You have to find the little joy. You have to find the little joy in the little things for yourself. Instead of waiting for those better days or for Jesus to come, let's create them in the ways that we carry ourselves, how we move forward in life, all the things that we choose in our choices and our actions and in our behavior. If you are so afraid of it being your last days, live like there's no tomorrow. You can do that without having $1 million damn dollars too. I think we put so much power, money money can buy happiness, but the things that you buy or how you invest that money into your happiness is on you. It's all dependent on you. So let's create them in the way we move and in the way we speak to ourselves, in the way that we allow life to meet us exactly where we are at or where we want to be. Take a deep breath, and the next time you are proposed with, or it comes across your mind, something new comes across your mind, do it. Say yes to something new. Find the magic in the small things and the small moments, because it's like the tiny things, the tiniest little things. My artist day from this week was an example of that for me. A big ass antique store. And that was the reminder for me of the little things in the small moments, just being able to walk through this store. I've only known antique stores to be like thrift stores where, you know, maybe it's donated or dropped off or something like that. But this antique store was very different because each section of the store or each case in the store was designed by an artist or, you know, a specific reseller or whoever, who you could tell by looking in these cases took their time to find and source all of these old and fun pieces to bring and, you know, provide somebody a new treasure in their life. But yeah, that is something new that I did this past week that I found a lot of peace in. It felt like Toy Story 4 minus, you know, like on shows or on the shows where the ghost hunters, they get in the area and they're like, oh, I got a headache. I may or may not have come across something with a little energy on it because, woo, I had a migraine in one corner of that store. But anyways, remember, your soul is always guiding you back home to yourself. Every little thing. And that's another thing with just like disappointment. Sometimes disappointments are meant to remind you that, hey, this does not align with you, and bring you back to yourself and back to square one, because we still have a little work to do. We've all heard the affirmation, the universe is always working out in my favor. And I really do believe, or I've been shown many times, that is the case, whether good or bad. I'm being protected, or like I like to refer to them as my holy angels. My holy angels be looking out for me. And sometimes it's not for the best, or what seems like what's for the best, but it is. It really truly is. And it has saved me from a lot of shit. A lot of shit. The universe is always working in our favor, removing shit that does not serve us now or later down the line. I done got a little distracted because, yeah, clarity, man. Clarity, protection. What I do find to be interesting about your soul always staying true to trying to find its way back to who we are. Every little detail and every little disappointment and all of those things truly do make up who we are. They make up who we are, and in many ways you can see that as you can see it as survival of the fittest. I have so many disappointments, but did it break me? It probably broke me in that moment, but did you die though? No, okay. But did you die though? That one version of you died. You are on your way to meet the next version. The next. There is a very apparent example of the universe working out in my favor, and I'm not gonna lie, the heartbreak is kicking my ass. Or it was kicking my ass. I feel like I'm moving out of it because all you can do is appreciate people, places, and things being true to their true character, and then when it does show up, now you're aware, leave it where it is, and you just move forward. Again, shout out to my holy angels for protecting me from that mess, from that conflicted mess, baby. Yeah, the universe been eliminating the observers and the haters and the people who I thought respected the light that I have, but they truly don't. So off with your head. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm off with it. Off my ship. Out of my life. There's only room for people and places and things that accept and recept and love the light that I produce. Anyways, let's go ahead and close out the show, child. Before we go again, I'll say it one more time. Joy is an act of resistance. Joy is an act of resistance. Joy is an act of resistance. Resist all the familiar patterns. Joy is an act of resistance. Joy is an act of resistance. Do something this week for you. Do it for you. Love on you. Love on yourself. Love on yourself. This week. Love on yourself. I want one of those boards like the teachers used to have. Love. Because I would put it right here. I might put it on it. Love on yourself. Love on yourself. Smacks the board. Love on yourself. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Soul and Grace podcast. Little jazz fingers for you. These are not spirit fingers. These are spirit fingers. Joy is an act of resistance. I'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in again. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Subscribe on the YouTube. Subscribe on Spotify. Subscribe on Amazon Music. Subscribe on iHeartRadio, Spotify. I'll see y'all next week. Bye.